Hey, do y'all want to see how to make a little survival kit out of a tin Altoid can and what I put in one? Stick around. Hey y'all, this is a little bit different video. I made a few of these kind of survival videos or whatever. I've always been into, some of y'all probably know it, but I've always been into the survival stuff. I love all the survival type shows. My favorite was always Survivor Man, but I always thought that he was the, I don't know, the most original, I guess. Yeah, I've always been into stuff, and I was going to do this video, I don't know, a long time ago, and then I don't know, I got sidetracked. I just never did do it. I think I started to film it, and I just never finished it or whatever. But anyway, so I'm going to try to film this again. But what it is a little Altoid can. You know, you buy the Altoids, the breath things or whatever. I'm going to show you what I've got in mine, what I keep in here. And you can just, like I said, you can put it in your pocket, in your purse. It's basically a wilderness one, so, I mean, but there's stuff in there that you know could come in handy for any type of situation, I guess, you know, even in urban type deals or whatever. If something happened, you know, or just, but you know, it doesn't have to be a lot. You know, you could be just somebody you travel and you know, you get off the beaten path, you take a wrong turn, run out of gas, and you're out in the middle of nowhere. They generally tell you to stick with your vehicle or whatever, and that's probably the best thing. But a lot of people don't. And you decide to trek out anyway, and you might get lost or whatever. Well, anyway, this may help you. It ain't nothing to you know, survive for long term. It's basically just something to get you by for a night or two. You know, generally you can live basically 3 days without water. You can go 3 weeks or more without food. Most people can. So food is not the most important thing. A lot of people think, oh, you know, I need food right away. You know, now food, you don't really need food. You basically need shelter and water. Those are your two first things. This is not really to get you water. I'll kind of tell you some ways you might could get water, but I've got something there to kind of help you with that. But it's not a filtering system or anything like that in there. It's too small. I can't, you know, you basically really can't really make a filtering system out of it, put it in a tin can. It's basically just something to get you by for a night or two, maybe get you a meal if you do have water. It's best not to eat if you don't have water, but if you do have some access to clean water, you know, if you're hungry or whatever, I got some fishing stuff in here, whatever, you might could catch you a fish or whatever. But anyway, let me just show you what's in mine and how I've got it fixed up, and you know, see how it goes. Anyway, before I get started too far, you know, be sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to my channel. Hit that bell thing, goes dang, 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 all that good crap. So yeah, let's get started, and I'll show you kind of what I've got in mind. Okay, I'm going to be trying to record this with my cell phone down here close up. I've got this shot for the long shot. Anyway, first thing I got on here, I didn't have this on a second ago, but I put it back on here, is a couple layers of duct tape. Duct tape is like the universal survival tool, survival item or whatever. This is just a couple layers I've got on here, just on the outside of it. And it's, you know, you can pull them apart. I think, yeah, there you go. You know, there's like, and they hold a flame real good. So you can actually, if you get a fire going, get a little, or you can use a match or whatever. These will burn really good, but they're also good for if you've got like a chafe or hot spot, basically, say on a foot or something like that. You can take this and, you know, like say this is your foot. You know, you can cut off a piece or whatever, kind of like moleskin, and put it there. Say it's rubbing on your foot, you're trying to hike or you're trying to move around or whatever, but your foot's killing you. You can put this on there to kind of keep you from rubbing it raw down there or whatever. The other thing I got on here is just electrical tape wrapped around the outside of the box, basically to kind of help keep it sealed off. Keep it kind of waterproof, but it's also electrical tape. You can also use it as a bandages, or yeah, you can probably use it to help you build a shelter, a little bit of it. I've got several wraps around here,
And I'm going to use a straw kind of as what you'd find, say, a stick or whatever out in the woods. And instead of just pulling this off and getting it all tangled up or whatever, just get you to find you a stick.
Like say this is a stick, and wrap it around there one time, and to where the bark and stuff won't stick to the tape anymore. And then just start peeling it off and wrapping it around the stick right over the same spot. That way you're saving the tape so that you can use it for whatever else instead of it being all wadded up and no good anymore. Whatever. But yeah, just keep going around with it till you get it all off of there and you got a little deal of electrical tape. I've also got a little bit more, basically just to kind of help hold it together here. You can do the same thing with it, or you can basically reuse it. See? Anyway. But anyway, got the kit opened up, and
first thing, when you open it up, first off it's a tin, and oh, mine's already starting to come apart. Anyway, that's all right. It don't matter. At this point, you don't really care. I mean, you can put the stuff in your pocket or whatever, but first thing with an Altoid can is it's shiny on the inside, as you can see. That reflecting there, you can get the sun and you can signal like against a plane or somebody looking for you, whatever. You can just flash that. It's very highly visible from long distances, so you can
shine that and be able to get somebody to try to find you.
First thing I got in here, in this little package, is just a couple of cotton balls. Cotton balls help. They'll take a strike real good. Get fire going real good. So that's the reason I put them in there. Then I've got a couple of balloons. What the balloons are for? I didn't have room for a whistle in here, and so balloons are, you know, you can kind of carry some water in there if you have to. I can show you how to do that in a second, but
the main reason I got them is that you can blow them up, and when somebody, if you think somebody's looking for you. Sorry, I keep looking at this. If you think anybody's like searching for you, or hope somebody's searching for you, or whatever, and you're trying to be found, and you don't want to keep trying to whistle. Some people can't whistle, but hollering and screaming, stuff like that, your voice will go out eventually. So you can basically just do this, and very loud. You can make different sounds with it. Travel a long ways, in the night in the woods. But all you gotta do is just keep blowing it up, and every so often, basically like a whistle, and that's like I said, a couple of them in there for that. I've got a little thing of Celox. It's a blood clotting agent.
For if
you get cut or whatever, a pretty bad cut or whatever, you can put this stuff on there. Help stop the bleeding.
I've got a couple of ibuprofen, a little package of. It's just got 2 of them in there for basically pain, whatever. A little gauze pad, basically help cleaning a wound, or you can put it over a bigger wound using the duct tape or the electrical tape. You can put that over a wound or whatever and keep it clean. It also helps go with a fire, get a fire started. I've got a couple of butterfly closures. There, if you get a
pretty deep cut somewhere, you can put those on there to. They're kind of like stitches, basically. You can put those on there, keep those on there. Maybe stop your bleeding or whatever. These are some anti-diarrhea pills. I got those in there. So that if you do have to drink some nasty water or something, and you got the diarrhea, maybe you know, you might could take those. Generally, if you do drink nasty water, it's usually not going to affect you for several days. It could be even longer than that before it affects you. So if you think, you know, hopefully you're going to be rescued within 2 or 3 days. Oh, this kit really doesn't do you much good. But so they may help you. I'll put them in there. This is some antibiotic cream. You know, in case you get the cut, you can squirt that on there. And hopefully keep the infections down. This is just a little straw that I've got. It's one of the kind that you can bend around or whatever. The reason that's in there is so that if you find some drinkable water, I mean, basically any rainwater. So if it's rained or there's a lot of dew or something, and it's on leaves and stuff, you could actually find some rainwater in a stump or something like that that's clean, and it'll like help you to drink the water instead of, you know, trying to. You may not be no way to get it out. Say it's just a little small hole in a tree stump or something, or just a little knot on a tree that maybe got some water trapped in it. You can drink that, and a straw might help you with that situation. And also with the balloon deal, what I was thinking with it, you can, if you find some water like that, you can actually use this, suck the water out, and spit it into the balloon, and fill the balloon up with water to where you could carry some water with you while you're walking around or whatever trying to. And here, got some matches. They're coated with wax. You can just do that with a candle. Just get the candle, get the wax, dip them in there. That's all I did. They helps keep it waterproof, but also helps to wax burns easily. There's also a little birthday candle in there. So what you want to do is basically light the candle with the match so that it burns longer, so you can get your fire going better instead of just, you know, because a match will burn up in a few seconds, whereas that candle will burn for 2 or 3 minutes probably. There's also some little short pieces of cut off of Q-tips that'll fit in there. You can fray those out, and it's got wood on there, so you can actually light that. It'll also help you get a fire going better. Then I've got just a little flashlight. There it goes. Little flashlight in there. I've got some electrical tape wrapped around it. You can wrap some duct tape around there or whatever. Anything that's round, anytime you can put tape or rope or whatever on there, it's best. This is some steel wool. A little bit of steel wool. Steel wool takes a spark really good. It burns really fast, but it's a really hot fire. Can help you get a fire going. And because I got a couple, I mean, not only do I have the matches in here, but I also have a ferro rod right here. It's just a little rod that's that you can, with any kind of metal, you can get a spark going with it. I will show you that here in a second. I've also got something to strike the matches on. I just cut that off of a package of matches. Something to strike them on. This here is a couple of. This is basically some pretty stiff or pretty tough thread. It's not just like regular thread. It's a pretty tough thread. You can actually use it to hold something together, or fish with it or whatever. But I also have some regular monofilament line for fishing, and this duct tape is a couple of hooks, a couple of different sizes of hooks. This is what I was talking about. If you kind of find a place that you might can fish and you do have water, you can just a couple of little sinkers in there and a few different sizes of hooks. I basically just use the duct tape to keep them all together. You can, it reseals, and that way you kind of keep it all together there. I've got a little tiny compass. I actually just cut this out of a little deal I had. I'll show you that in there a second. It's this little deal here. I found it at Walmart. It's a little survival type tool, and I actually had this little compass in there, but I cut it out. You can buy these little compasses for hardly nothing. Different places, just little compasses get you herring. This little deal here, this little multi-type tool type thing, has a pretty good little blade on there. Little pretty sharp little blade. It's got some other little tools and stuff on there, but mainly I like it because you can get the spark going with the ferrule rod.
I'll show you what I'm talking about here, if I can get a spark. I don't know if I can show you on here or not. It's kind of hard to... Whoa, whoa, actually caught... See how, look at it. See how I caught the... just that little bit caught that cotton on fire. Right there, man. Just one little spark from that thing. That's how easy cotton will take fire, and also you get a good spark with that. Let's see, what else have I got in here? I've got, this is just a toothpick with some duct tape rolled around it. You know, more duct tape, like I said, a good survival item. This is just a little small magnifying glass. It actually came out of that same little tool I was showing you. I just took them all apart because it made it easier to put them in the deal. But you can actually use that to, if you got a bright sun, you can actually use that to start a fire. You know, probably a lot of you when you were kids, you know, caught stuff on fire with a magnifying glass. I know I did. And I've got a single edge razor blade in there. You can use that for if you catch some fish or whatever, you can gut them and whatever, or you know, just a lot of things for. It's basically like a little knife. I've also got another little knife in here. This one I found. It's like a little surgical knife. It's very sharp. Comes in a little plastic deal. I found that in a little snake bite kit I had, and but any kind of little light knife like that you can have. It's just real sharp. It'd be good for if you're needing to gut a fish or whatever. It'd come in handy for that. Got a paper, not a paper clip, but a safety pin in there. Safety pins come in handy for all kinds of things. Since I wear glasses, I brought this little deal here. It's basically a Phillips head and a straight end screwdriver on here for glasses. That way, if for some reason my glasses need tightening up, I can use that. You don't have to do that. I also got a little alcohol pad in here. Goes in there, and I believe that's about it there that I've got in there. Basically, you have the tin too. You know, the little tin can, which the bottom here, you could, it's metal. You could actually heat water up in that. You know, if you find some dirty water, you know, you could boil it. You might could. I don't know if I'd want to put it directly on the fire, but you could put water in there and basically just get you some couple of rocks and heat them up, and just keep putting them in the water until the water starts boiling, and just take them in. You know, put them in there, put it back in the fire to heat it. Eventually, the water will start boiling, and just keep doing that for a minute or two while it boils. You're not going to have a lot of water, but you know, you would have a little bit there. You know, you could just keep doing that. It could save your life. You know, just enough water to keep it going. You know. But yeah, I think that's about it that I got in there. You can make yours up however you really want. Things that you might think up or whatever that you might put in there. But you know, there's a lot of crap you can put in that little can. You know, a lot of people don't think. You know, it's like, oh, an Altoid can. What can I put in that? Well, you can actually put quite a bit of stuff in there, and just, you know, you can look it up online. Maybe it's something that I didn't put in there that you might try. When you go back with it, just pack it in there, you know, and put stuff in there that compresses. Make sure you get all the air out of it. It's where it'll compress down better. You might have to try it different ways to get it all to fit, but something may help you. You know, like the little compass. You know, you're out in the woods, and you know, just a little compass like that, keeping you going in a straight line. You know, like say, you know, well, I know to the east there's a road, whatever. Generally, most people, if they without a compass or a way of heading, will usually your strong leg or whatever they call it. Most people have one or the other. Basically, takes a longer stride than others. So over a longer distance, you'll basically make a circle.
over a long distance. So, because that, if you're not keeping a bearing, that, say your strong leg is your right, you'll just keep eventually make a right circle, and you'll wind up basically almost in the same spot, or you can, or so that's the reason you get a compass, or if you can follow the sun, different ways to, or just pinpoint a spot. If you could see a spot, okay, I'm aiming for that spot. Get to that spot and find you a new spot. Say, okay, I see a tree over there. I'm aiming for that tree. And generally, if you know it, you keep going in that direction, and get your way out. Get your way out of there instead of just. The main thing is just keep your head on straight. A lot of it, of course, has to do with temperatures and all that kind of stuff. How long you'll survive, but this ain't really a shelter building kit. You could basically build basically just if you just cover up in leaves or cover up in whatever, anything to keep you insulated. Stay off the ground if it's cold. Build your stuff up. The ground will take a lot of heat from you, so stay up off the ground as much as you can, and try not to get wet. Try to stop a couple hours before. Because even in cold weather, you'll usually be sweating. And like old Les Stroud, he's my man used to be on Survivor Man. And like he always said, you sweat, you die. And basically what he means is, if you're sweating and it gets colder at night and you're settled down, you're not moving or whatever, hypothermia kicks in, and, that could kill you. And if you're wet, so basically if you can stop, try to get you a shelter or whatever built, some kind of something, a couple of hours so you can dry out, settle down or whatever. So before those cold nighttime temperatures hit, you will be in better shape. Hopefully just make it through the night. Those are just some of my survival stuff, tips or whatever that I know about. I'm not no survivalist, so don't be, look it up yourself, if you want to. It's just stuff I know about. I've just learned over the years. I've never been in a survival situation. Hopefully I never have to, and that's, hopefully this will help you if you ever are, I know this ain't the funny, crazy video that like I usually do. Sometimes I do these how-to videos. Some of my how-to videos are my biggest videos, actually. And a lot of people like them, So I enjoy doing the survival type stuff. I'll put a link to a couple other survival ones. I'll try to put them up here somewhere where you can click on them if you want to. Anyway, that's it, I guess. Anyway, be sure to hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the don't like if you hate this video. And write down below if you like, man, this sucks, or you don't want me to do them no more, or whatever it is. I don't care, Like I said, the interaction on the videos is what ranks it up higher usually. So, it don't matter if you get dislikes or likes, it doesn't really matter. They just see it as engagement on your channel or whatever. So that's what helps your channel out. So even if it's people, telling you suck, Anyway, I got to get off here. This video is going to be too long as it is, and it's almost 11 o'clock at night, and I don't know when I'll get this edited. But anyway, y'all take care. I will talk to y'all later. Bye-bye. Let's see now. Let's see if I can get all this crap back in this thing. Oh, I know I can. Can't believe that caught on fire that easy. That was kind of weird. I just like doing it. Anyway, bye y'all. Bye.